Bickley and Marotta. Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
The Suns have a big problem that good health cannot solve. It's called defense, and the Suns play it like they're matadors, not predators. And alas, I don't know if this team can run or hide or shoot their way out of this dilemma. I mean, did you see how easy it looked for the Clippers to stroll into the paint or hoist uncontested threes, to shoot 55% from the floor and 53% from the free three-point line? You don't need a super team to play great defense, folks. You need the right vibe, you need the right players, or you need a coach with the right system and a healthy amount of buy-in from those in uniform. And in Phoenix, something is clearly missing on that end of the floor. Look, we are all easily deceived by victories over substandard teams, and we can butt our way through most difficult conversations because of the injuries that have kept our big three from materializing, that has kept our super team as an unfulfilled dream instead of a nightmare for opponents. But when the Suns face a really good team, they look terribly deficient. And from Jalen Brunson to Luka, from Lauri Markkanen to Jordan Clarkson, from Terry Rozier to Victor Wembanyama, the numbers are frightening. And while the NBA will always be a scorer's league, sometimes you gotta make the other guy miss, especially when it matters the most. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Yeah, I think we were scrambling a little bit more, start getting pissed off a little bit, and that's kind of that has to be our disposition when we start the game. We got 4 or 5 All-Stars over there. Like, we gotta make sure that we're ready to go from the jump. They shot 60, 50, or 95 or something. Like that's crazy. So that's just unacceptable. We gotta be a lot better on that end. And you tip your hat to them, but we still could have made a lot of those catch and shoots like early on, like a lot tougher. Like, T-Man made some, but PG got going, Kawhi got going. They just laced them up. Gotta be better with that.
Bradley Beal last night on the Suns' defensive performance, which was not good for most of the game.
No.
Got better as the game went on, but had dug themselves a 23-point hole at one point. Hard to climb out of those holes against a team as put together as the LA Clippers. And I'll give Bradley Beal credit for this. He's getting acclimated. Yes, played a lot of minutes last night. Did not have the most efficient offensive night. Finished, I think, with 21 points. But he's been the most outspoken on the defensive issues that the Suns have had.
A good point.
He's the guy that came up with the tragic line. He's the guy that came on Burns and Gambo and talked about the need to get better on that side. Just talked about it there. Hey, we got to start the game pissed off.
Yeah.
And when you hear Frank Vogel say things like this,
really proud of how we competed. We didn't give up on a game. I think that's a positive attribute to our team. I'm more concerned with how we started the game defensively. I don't think we had the necessary disposition, to guard an elite offense. A team with a lot of firepower creates a lot of different challenges with the personnel that they have, and we just weren't. We didn't have the. They didn't feel us. They didn't feel us in the first half. So we got to start stronger, in terms of the defensive disposition.
With all due respect to Frank Vogel, that's the type of quote that should be coming out of Detroit, Michigan from Monty Williams, talking about his team, being proud of them for not giving up on the game. This was a team built to compete for and win a championship.
Completely.
And you're 34 games in, the time for moral victories for, hey, great effort and trying to come back, that don't fly here.
No, I agree. Yeah, and listen, and that was part of the thing that I was afraid of last night, is that the comeback, if you will, getting the lead down to 8, if you will, that it was going to help sugarcoat this loss. I felt like this game was a sucker punch to me, and not that I expected the Suns to win. But it just, the temperament of the Clippers versus the temperament of the Suns, particularly in the first half, was something else. And I've mentioned that whole Terrence Mann following Devin Booker all the way to the rim after a timeout, just to let him know, nope, not leaving you for a second, bud. It was really just disrespectful. And that's the way I think the Suns have to play defense. They have to take it personally. And I think a healthy basketball team, especially with a defensive-minded head coach, which Frank Vogel has that reputation, you would think that they'd rally around that, okay, we don't have KD, and that sucks, but let's rally around playing defense because playing defense, it's attitude, it's effort, it's hustle.
Rally round the family.
Right.
With a pocket full of shells.
But again, I mean, I'm not wrong about this. Defense is attitude. It's want to. There's nothing special about playing defense other than having that kind of nasty attitude. And Suns did not have that. And there's a reason why. There are players in the NBA who are not good defensive players, and there are players who don't have the requisite size or the foot speed, and you can get caught up in matchups. I mean, watching Grayson Allen trying to D up Kawhi Leonard last night, that was a joke. I mean, I'm like, what do you...
And Grayson Allen gave it everything he had. But, the Clippers are also a very, very difficult team to defend. They're a very difficult team to officiate. They got a lot of tricks up their sleeves from an individual standpoint.
Yeah.
But,
go ahead, Jerry.
Well, I was going to say, but like Grayson Allen or Yusuf Nurkic are not going to just become more athletic.
No.
These bench players, that have never been that good at defense their whole careers are not all of a sudden going to be good just because they're trying harder. Mm-hmm. Some of that stuff is based on the roster.
Well, you've got to decide who you're playing, and you've got to decide who you're bringing off the bench. You've got different guys for different things. And I think that you're going to have to reconcile this. You're either going to have to commit to outscoring teams and whatever. We'll kind of wave at you instead of playing defense, but we're going to outscore you. And if that's the case, then then maybe the roster looks like this. And if it's not the case, then maybe the roster looks like Keita Bates-Diop and Josh Okogie and. I don't know. Like I said, this is an issue. That's the issue that jumped out at me. And in the first half, Devin Booker, the way he was getting jumped, I thought, this isn't fair to him, man. He is not a point guard by trade. And at some point in time, somebody needs to help him out. It can't always be him carrying a boulder up the hill. And I don't think Devin Booker was very good in the first half. And the turnovers were there again. But it was also a reflection of the way the Clippers were just blitzing him. And Ty Lue pretty much had a game plan for Devin Booker. There's no doubt about that. And Book in the second half, found some urgency, and he kind of forced the issue a little more, and he put up a big number. But if you just saw the score of the game and read the box score and saw Devin Booker's stat line, you wouldn't have any clue of what the game looked like in the first half.
Not really. Here was Devin Booker on adjusting to the Clippers' defense after halftime.
I mean, especially when we're staggering minutes and we're missing, one of the three of us. It's easy for a defense to key on to us. When there's three of us playing, there's usually two on the court at the same time where you don't see those type of defenses. But we still found ways in the second half, things that we can build on and carry over from.
Yeah, with the latest sample of what we saw with Durant, Booker, and Beal all together, the offense did look easy. It looked smooth. There wasn't a whole lot of double teaming. There wasn't a whole lot of blitzing of any player on the court because you can't do it. But it's disconcerting to see, all right, Kevin Durant's not playing. What do we do? Devin Booker's not playing. Oh, what do we do? Somebody else has to step up.
Yes.
And there's players that are capable of stepping up that still look uncomfortable in doing so. There was a key stretch when the Suns were fighting back, and there was a possession where the ball zipped around and it ended up in the corner with Josh Okogie, and he had an open three, and he would not shoot the ball.
No.
And he put the ball on the floor and tried to drive, and he turned it over.
And he turned it over. That was
That's a very telling possession.
I bookmarked that very same possession from the couch at home last night. That's very telling. A good basketball team in the NBA 2023, that shot's got to go up and that shot's got to go in.
Yeah, and if it doesn't go in, at least you're giving your team an opportunity for an offense.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.